Request of 42 person web on you. I never want try lose you, try them up on me. Well.
A nurse in America called Erin STRAUTMAN jailed for deliberately breaking the bones of NICU babies. Black, premature babies. Like, what on earth? So in the month of November, literally, I think about 3 to 4 babies who had unexplained injuries, like just broken bones. And this lady was going around deliberately breaking the bones of these babies. Like, what goes through your head to think, oh yeah, let me just go do that? Like, Erin STRAUTMAN was actually put on paid administrative leave for 1 year. So the hospital knew something fishy was going on. Obviously, the hospital must have known something was going on. Like, if one of your nurses, you know that this is happening, first of all, you pay her. You put her on paid leave. Second, you take her back to allow her to continue to do these things. Like, I'm just so confused. In the summer, this had also happened. So, like, I think 4 additional babies in the summer. So this is like 8 babies in total. Guys, I'm still so shocked. Like, this woman has shown you her true colors. Why are you bringing this woman back? This woman lacks compassion. This woman lacks empathy. Like, everything that a nurse stands for, this is, like, what nurse would just... It's wild to me that the hospital knows that she is harming these babies, black babies, and just willingly accepted her back. And only now are they doing something about it. A whole year later, they're doing something about it.
Y'all, is Virginia on God's hit list this year? Because what is going on? It is not even a full 10 days into 2025, and here is what has already happened. In Henrico County, a NICU nurse was arrested for purposely breaking the bones of black babies in the NICU. Then, Richmond, Virginia, due to the weather, there has been no clean water for almost a full 24 hours. And then, I don't know if y'all have seen this on TikTok, in Hampton, there is a pastor who made, like, a member of the congregation, a woman, stand in front of the congregation and apologize for having a child out of wedlock. And because of that, they're not going to give her a baby shower. Mind you, this is all in the span of 7 days. Like, maybe this is just my sign to finally move out of Virginia, because what the hell is going on?
So if you're reading this headline, you know that I am about to discuss something that's really, really tough, okay? So let me give you a little bit of background. This nightmare that is thinly veiled as an RN, her name is Erin STRAUTMAN. She's a 26-year-old that was working in Henrico Doctors Hospital in Virginia. And this lady is accused of breaking the bones of newborns. And I'm not talking about just newborns in the neonatal intensive care unit. So these are the most vulnerable of vulnerables, premature babies or babies that had a little bit of difficulty transitioning out of the womb into the world. So in the summer of 2023, they noticed that there were some mysterious injuries that were occurring in the NICU. And the administration was so concerned that they decided to get increased surveillance. They did some training, trying to make sure that people knew how to identify injuries before they happen and prevent them. They also even had an observership program where they had to be 2 healthcare workers taking care of each infant. So the injuries stopped for a while, but they started again in November and December, so much to the point where on Christmas Eve, they had to close the NICU.
So we got nurses causing injuries to babies? Really? Are we really in that kind of place in life that we're causing harm to children? What did the babies do? What can they do besides cry? You chose to be a nurse. I'm confused. So we have a nurse who needs to be a former nurse at this point out of Virginia. Erin Elizabeth STRAUTMAN. It be them people with them 3 names. They always need to be watched. They always need to be watched. So this woman decided back in the summer of 2023 that she was going to start causing injuries to children. So they had 4 babies that had unexplained injuries. And they recorded it for the record because they didn't understand why they had 4 babies who had fractures in their NICU. So then we roll on to November, December timeframe, 2023, and there are 3 additional babies that have unexplained fractures. What? Everybody should have been dismissed when you had 4, because 4 was too many, but we let it go on to 3 additional children. Okay, so we had 7 in the span of the summertime to December. We got 7 babies with unexplained fractures. Okay. In December of 2024, they shut everything down so they can investigate, and they arrested her on January the 3rd. Now, these people back when I was talking about Terrence T. Howard, on their life support, I could not imagine a nurse doing that. I could not believe doctors, those people can be off their rocker as well. 7 babies? What did the 7 babies do to this woman? How do you explain that to me? 7 babies. Yeah, it don't matter what your job title is. You can cause harm to people. And clearly that was her goal. 7 babies? Now imagine if that was your baby. Fresh out the hospital with a fracture. They come clearly out the birth canal with no fractures, but they leave with fractures. Yeah. Virginia, y'all have permission to go and toss this one to the side. Just go on and to the water. What in the world? Babies. And you took the time out to be educated to be a nurse, and you are causing fractures on babies. Like, you got to go through a special process to even work with the babies, because
I'm not sure if y'all seen it, but there were about 18 individuals, CNAs and nurses all included, that were arrested recently at a nursing home somewhere in New York. So what happened is that a lot of these nurses and CNAs were documenting that they were giving care to the patient. I think it was a 74-year-old woman. However, she was not getting checked up on. She was laying in her feces, laying in her urine, and she ended up getting rushed to the hospital, and she's now in a condition that she could never recover from, apparently. This just goes to show that, like, if you're documenting that you're doing something, make sure you document the truth. Don't just document to get it out of the way. Document what you're actually doing, because you see now 18 different people just got arrested, lost their jobs, and I mean, who knows what's going to happen to them now because they was lying. So to all my RNs, my LPNs, my CNAs, my NPs, CRNAs, all my other healthcare providers out there, make sure when y'all doing y'all health assessments, y'all actually putting and documenting what you're actually doing. Because in that one video I posted about respirations, a lot of y'all say y'all should be putting 12, y'all should be putting 18. But make sure you do your health assessments and save your CYA, cover your ass. That's it.
A nurse was arrested for breaking a newborn baby bones. Newborn baby. Guys, a baby that was just giving birth. This nurse broke the bones of this baby. This incident happened in Georgia. After NICU babies were found with mysterious injuries and bone fractures, according to the authority, Erin Elizabeth, which is 26 years old, has been charged with malicious wounding, child abuse, and neglect. The hospital said sometimes around November, some of the nurses discovered about 3 babies with this bone fractures problem. And then they discovered that this is becoming common. It was an unexplainable fracture, similar to an incident that happened sometimes in 2023, where they found 4 other newborn babies with the same bone fractures. And it's become unexplainable. How can somebody in his normal senses break the bones of newborn baby? Newborn baby, for crying out loud. I posted something like this sometimes back about how some demonic activities are going on in the hospital. This is the kind of it, guys. Things are really happening. Things are really happening. People should shine their eyes whenever they go to the hospital for treatment or anything. People should shine their eyes, because the demonic activities going.
This woman, her, she's an RN, and she was just arrested for breaking the bones of Black newborns in the NICU. 26-year-old Erin Elizabeth Ann STRAUTMAN of Virginia was booked on charges of aggravated child abuse and malicious wounding. So at the hospital this occurred at, there would be like strings of like 3 or 4 babies that would end up with like fractures all over them, and nobody could figure out why. In fact, the hospital actually had to shut down its NICU to do this investigation, putting how many newborns in harm's way in doing so. We don't know. I do want to mention that Elizabeth Strautman was previously put on leave per an investigation into her for an entire year. I do want to mention that it was a paid administrative leave, but then the hospital brought her back, and this continued to happen. Thank goodness that some of these parents called CPS to really kick this investigation into high gear. Nurses take an oath not to harm. So how is it possible that these nurses can harm the most innocent of us? Disgusting. Jail. I would say goodnight, my precious, but like, this story bummed me out, dude. Yuck.
This is the Brownstone Center News Update. I'm Paulette, and here is news and information that you can use. A 26-year-old former nurse, Erin Elizabeth Ann Strautman, has been arrested following an investigation in unexplained fractures sustained by infants in the neonatal intensive care unit at Henrico Doctors Hospital in Richmond, Virginia. The hospital reported that in late November and December 2024, 3 babies were found with unexplainable fractures, mirroring incidents involving 4 infants in the summer of 2023. In response, the hospital temporarily halted new admissions to its NICU and initiated an internal investigation notifying families and relevant authorities. Strautman, who was employed at the hospital during both periods, faces charges of malicious wounding and felony child abuse related to an incident on November 10, 2024. Henrico County Police are reviewing extensive video footage from the NICU and have reopened previously closed cases from 2023 as part of a comprehensive investigation. The arrest has deeply affected families, including Dominique and Tori Hackey, whose son Noah suffered a fractured tibia while in the NICU in September of 2023. Initially, the cause of Noah's injury was undetermined, but a subsequent Child Protective Services investigation concluded it resulted from physical abuse by a hospital employee. The Hackeys, along with other affected families, are now seeking accountability and justice. And in response to those incidents, Henrico Doctors Hospital has implemented enhanced safety measures, including additional staff training, comprehensive examinations of NICU patients, installation of new security systems, and the introduction of live streaming technology to allow parents to monitor their infants remotely. The hospital has expressed shock and sadness over the developments and is cooperating fully with law enforcement and regulatory agencies to ensure the safety and well-being of all of its patients. As the investigation continues, authorities are urging anyone with information to come forward. The case has actually prompted a broader discussion on patient safety protocols in neonatal care units, emphasizing the need for vigilance and stringent safeguards to protecting vulnerable infants, vulnerable Black infants.